I play the waiting game. Just have to see who joins. It's commentary. If there's any issues with my audio, be it the mic or in-game audio, if there's any issues with the balance, please let me know. I'll do my best to rectify that as quickly as possible with what limited audio knowledge that I have. Microphone is low. Alright, so we have Rascal and Hollow up first. Okay. How is the microphone now? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alright. So let's go ahead and throw this in. What about now? How's the how's the voice? This might be too much, this might not be enough, but we'll let it rock for now, I guess. Game 1 in the Thunderdome. Our in Cobalt Stadium Arena. It's a very CQC friendly map. So we'll see what Rascal and Hollow deem to be their picks here. There are a couple of things that work really well. Playing out towards the height and the border, it's very hard to do here because of the way it's designed. A lot of the fights are going to take place on either of these two platforms directly across from each other or through the pipes there in the center thereabouts. Very rarely it will get dragged down to the corner platforms or down to the sides of the two main platforms. But we'll have to see what they think is the best way to navigate this. Knowing these players, there's a couple of things I have in mind. But again, it remains to be seen. Alright, yield primitive self-destruction, and now let's pop into Rascal's POV. Alright, this is a laser heavyweight. This is one of the things I expected, but maybe not for this map. Hollow looks like he's on a BR mid, standard Strek mid, yeah. We got Plasma. I don't know if Plasma was the play here to break that shield. It's gonna be very difficult. As you can see here, that CE shield hasn't taken a lot of damage. However, Hollow does have an easy way to keep these missiles out, so trades are going to be mostly... I want to say they're going to be mostly in Rascal's favor until this shield goes down, because he doesn't have a lot of ammo to work with on the 12s. It's very, very doable. You can see it does a lot of damage with each ping, but he has to get lucky with consistent red lock hits. Any of those while he has his shield out, and he's lost a significant portion of his damage and his pressure. So there we see the shield finally getting eaten. Just playing a very slow-paced game, very fundamental. Not needing to overextend, but eating into his own gen a bit, holding into these charges. Not necessarily ideal discipline. More composed opponents are going to take advantage of that and rush you down more often. Hollow playing really passive here when he doesn't have to. Any little bit of height or any good glide, just going forward with the battle rifles will do an insane amount of damage to a heavy like this that can't really get away without eating its own gen. What Hollow needs to realize here is that Rascal's resource isn't necessarily his AP so much as the important part being his generator. Whenever you see an opponent with lasers, you have to assume that all of their downtime it's a window. You'll assume this normally, but with energy weapons, you're eating into your generator to both attack and defend. If you spend all that time running away and charging, you can't fight back. And it's a very difficult balance to manage. It leaves you open with a lot of windows of opportunity. Hollow not managing it very well here. There's a lot of cover, a lot of wiggling that he could be doing to mitigate these things. And he seems to be having trouble dealing with the missiles tagging. It's down very low already, but maybe he just hasn't figured the matchup out yet. Again, Rascal just playing very slow, very patiently. Little bit of panic here as Hollow gets to him, but not enough because he's only got 600 AP, so it's not really a threat. Alright, we have game 1 to Rascal, very conservative AP lead maintained. A little bit finicky on the generator and energy management there, but that's something that will just come with more practice on a setup like this. You can see those high-powered boosters there. They're very dangerous for this kind of gameplay. They're very good, but they're a bit of a double-edged sword. Right, swap into green. Rascal, if you will go yellow leader, please. Thank you. On to the next one. Game 2, I believe they're doing a run back of this. Ooh, Vosto. Disgusting map. Especially in this orientation. Spawning down here is definitely a disadvantage to have. Especially most duels. Well, I should say most. All duels will take place normally up on those rocks. That's where this map is sectioned out to normally. But we're not under normal circumstances, and I don't know how easy it would be for us to set something up where we would have normal circumstances. But regardless. Oh, this isn't a standard strict mid. This is freak technology. Never mind. This is schizophrenia mid. Good shoulder, and 4 weapons that all do 4 different things at 4 different ranges against 4 different kinds of targets. Very incoherent. Has trouble dealing with whatever is in front of it, I think. two different TE weapons that are never going to hit the same things. Aren't a quad. Decent glide rush here, but it's TE against I believe it's a Bargazin heavy. A little bit of warp there. I'm not sure if that was a spectator bug or not. Might have been. But with a setup like this, once again, just getting in and trying to deal any damage is starving yourself. This is a matchup where I probably would have just thrown the plasma and pulse guns away, seeing that he's on a heavy. Yeah, having the CE shield on Rascal's side is very dastardly. But getting rid of the CE shield and then throwing away the things that are just existing to drain you out is always going to be a benefit. Good wiggle there. Now you can just DPS him with this. You have the upper hand here. You know he's on lasers. You pop into scan mode when you go down, and then you just keep chasing him. As long as his generator has any capacity, he is on a timer. The closer you get, and the longer you're able to stay close, the harder that Rascal is going to have to fight, have any kind of leverage. Oh, I believe Toasty has just gotten back. 1 second. Let me mute here on stream and redirect over there just to see what's up. Alright, so that was game 2. Means I'm changing. Okay, no, I just missed that. Now, thankfully, I have Mr. Toast on commentary. Big tournament winner, Mr. Good at the Game himself. Right, we go with game 3. Or we are 2-0 Rascal's favor. Windy City. Now, Toast, some context for this match. Hollow's in a very schizophrenic 37-490 mid. Rascal is in a Bargazin heavy biped with, I want to say, Dafeng, 2 12s, 2 shields, and VTF, Saza Model 2s. It is heavily in Rascal's favor because Hollow simply does not have any consistent tool to deal with him. And you'll see what I mean when the match starts up.
Alright, got the stacks. Got the stacks, got the Pringles. Hopefully the munching won't come through.
Alright, yield, self-destruct, back into the cuck chair. Now we have Mr. Rascal's POV. Once again, they're just doing same ACs for a while.
So 12 shot heavy BTFs.
Yeah, 212s, KECE shield, Bargas in legs, Cardor core, buried bull.
I actually prefer the approach coming from low ground here.
The issue here is, like I said,
You kind of have to on Windy.
Hollow is in like a 37-490 mid, but with his schizophrenic weapon setup that can't do anything about this. And
it's pretty much how I had to deal with all this in the tournament in the lightweight is just glide boost rush, glide boost rush low ground, use all the buildings and just try and gap close with as much cover as possible. There's no other way to really approach like something like that.
what
I know
happened there?
Rascal had like a pretty mean setup.
Wonder if Hollow crashed or if he got trapped in the building or something.
Guessing crash.
Seems that way. Alright, we're...
Yeah, Rascal had like a proper mean setup in Tony as well, and I just had to like avoid all that bullshit, man. Like on the low ground, it was just no hope trying to like deal with a glide boost rush on top of the building. No chance.
It was also kind of weird in the tournament because it wasn't the dual version of Windy, and you had to fight from the disadvantageous side of the river all the way across.
I don't think it was too. I don't think it was too bad though on the team's Windy because I could. So one of the main things that I was doing is you probably realize. I'm not sure if like a lot of people realized actually that I didn't like. I guess 90% of the matches I didn't glide boost over straight away. I wanted to see what side my opponent was on first, and then like I would take like a really weird off angle, like on a low building, and I would glide boost on like the other side of the map, just so I can get over safely. Like I wouldn't like kind of rush into things. Because I'm already initiating a glide boost from a low angle, like even if they try to come over and like hit me with missiles or lasers or something like that, A, I'd probably have my TE shield out, so it would soak up some of the damage on approach, or B, it would like be hard because all the fucking buildings would be in the way.
Looks like Apple's having trouble connecting to the room. I believe Rascal said he's gonna rehost, so we'll be swapping over to his lobby, piggybacking off that. Although trapped in the jank dimension. I don't really care which POV I get here.
The mean, dude, I actually really like find it difficult to always go up against the VTF laser heavy build with the shields. Like it's such a gnarly setup.
It's a
I hate
very
the fact that
strong
the
setup.
lasers practically insta-lock even with missiles, like even the 12 shot, like it's...
Oh, dude, even the 4-shot Carousel is almost an insta-lock. It's really disgusting. They're a very strong class of weapon. Oh shit, Benjamin Zelnick in chat. Good to see you, dude. It's not a tournament. It's just weekend duel rooms. Decided to spice it up with a little live commentary, give people some feedback. I assume you're taking it low and slow at university, my dude. He exploded? Dude, that's rough. That's genuinely rough. This is probably going to be another heavyweight staring contest. Both these players really like heavy bipads. Scary little bit of lag there on my end. Dude, it always freaks me out when the emulator does that. Those little micro hangs. Oh no.
Alright, so this is a
2 heat
12
howitzers and a
BPF
12-shot mid.
with what's the shoulder? I'm guessing ammo. Looks like ammo.
Yeah. It was a very clean opening hit. I'm not sure how much it did. I think we see a shield and a laser there on Apple's side.
So I guess the heat howitzers hit the shield.
Oh yeah, it's a. I think he's also got a 12 and a shield.
I probably wouldn't even be bothered to have the KE shield on him.
Yeah, no, it's
'Cause
as long
you
as you're
have
staring that
AP
laser
units.
down, it's not worth it. That's
you
AP
have
you
AP
could
units,
save
if
for
you can
later.
break his shield and you can save yours, like that's just a huge advantage, and you can just use that late game to soak up some damage that you need to soak up.
Yeah, for sure. Also, with these sticky recons, it would have been prudent to get this scan off before those first engagements ever happened. I'm also pretty sure Apple's got spread missiles. I respect the tech. Ooh. Those Padankas?
It's a nice little poke.
I didn't
Little
actually
laser,
catch
but-
the original scan. That was a good shot. Holy shit, good angle.
Yeah, honestly, I would just take the shield away here. Yeah.
You don't even have to fire with the heat house. You can just fire with the laser and hot hand it. This is not where you want to be. I don't think you should ever just brawl somebody down here. Especially with how hard it is to get back up to these buildings because of that little vortex below them where you can't wall jump from ground level.
I like the fact that though that Rascal's dueling down there though, because it's easier to aim with the heat howitzers because they can't really go up or down. Like you're just aiming on a horizontal plane, and like it's just really easy to line up.
Yeah, the idea of it is good, but against like a BR heavy like that, something that can just go forward and eat one volley of howitzers and a laser without a lot of care, I don't really like it. If he was down to both howitzers and it was more to like close out around 10,000 AP or a little bit lower on the timer, I'd be all down for it.
If I was in Apple's situation, I would just kind of glide boost under the bridge and just try and get close and make it a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, taking either the bridge on the
There's
left.
also Rascal's in combat mode charging the laser, so like you can just fucking go underneath and just glide boost rush, and then you would have to go into scan mode to see where you are at and cancel the laser charge, because you won't know where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
And now he's out of energy because he's had
now-
to make that. Ooh,
Yep.
stun from the spread missile actually gets him back down to ground level. Very lucky howitzer shot, but I don't know how much that did. I think it was about 22k. Yeah, 22k, that laser just took him down to 21. Oh, 19. 17, so it was about 2k per laser shot. And BR hit for about like 1200-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. About to be out of energy again. This is a window where Apple should be seeing all this laser charging and the spacing and just slowly contesting space. You don't even have to glide because you're almost always going to have more energy than the guy charging the laser.
You need to be more aggressive with 50 seconds left.
Yeah.
You need to just not worry at this point and try to like approach safely, just literally go in. This is where the KE shield would be nice as well, because you know that Apple's gonna play aggressive, so maybe we'll just have KE shield out now.
Yeah. No, there he goes. He swap into it. Just one more tool to preserve the AP lead at this stage. Even if it only takes one shot from like 2 BRs, that's still, several thousand damage you didn't have to take directly.
Especially, the thing is as well, like, I know spread missiles, like, no one really uses spread missiles and whatnot, but like, one spread, all it takes is one spread missile stun into like a couple of BR shots, and like that AP is gonna get equalized like immediately.
Yeah. For Apple, this is
Yo,
definitely a game of positioning. Alright, so we're 1-0 in. I believe that was Rascal's win, right? It's just saying Apple won because I ISD'd for the, yeah.
yeah. Dude, it was funny because that happened in tournament against Kelt.
Yeah.
Was going spectating.
That's the other downside about this.
I was like, oh, Kelt won. It's like, I was like, no, I didn't. Yeah, I think Apple G's get aggressive and just not worry about the laser. Like, I think the ideal play is try and wiggle off the laser and then just book it straight on top of Rascal.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do.
So here's that thing I was talking
laser,
about, where the disadvantaged build has a really hard time trying to like crawl over and contest the river. I don't think you need to bring the KE shield out here.
I don't mind it, because I guess it's gonna be useless in this fight anyway. You may as well just use the KE shield and just tag a few times with the laser, just increase the AP lead gap. Okay, here we go.
I don't think you want to be down low here, but you also don't want to be forced to pop shot around the buildings because the howitzers have an infinitely easier time against the heavy.
I also wouldn't contest top of the buildings either.
Yeah,
matchup.
no.
You're gonna get like hit with the howitzers, like exactly
Just like that. If you can push Rascal out over here and get consistent lines with the spread missiles, that's another big thing. Here we see a little bit of Ian burn and tracking issues. That's just a little bit of inexperience there. Struggling on the lip. I catch myself doing that too sometimes. I think both players have the laser and a shield out. No, Rascal's got the Howies out still.
I think it's anything stopping Apple from just glide boosting for one of these lower buildings in these situations and just like going in and around the building. Yeah, there you go. This is a good glide opportunity. He's just stick on top.
He wasted too many of his high boosts though, because he's gonna get out here over this now and like run out of energy and then just be in a weird spot. It's also getting very panicky and just sort of like forcing his reticle all over the place. Again, Rascal still just playing low and slow on the back. Not a bad way to play it. That was a pretty good 12-shot hit. I don't know if it was enough, though.
Yeah, don't contest the top of the building.
Yeah, take it slow here. You have the recon over there. You can get the information. Like, you can
The
just...
thing is, if like glide boost on one of the lower buildings is actually significantly harder for the Heat Howitzer player to like aim up and down as well as left to right. Like if you just like giving them like an equal plane and they only have to like predict side to side, like it's so much easier. But like having to like aim downwards and predict like the weird trajectory that they come out of as well, and trying to predict like left or right, it's like really difficult. And then if you're going towards them as well, the trajectory like always constantly changes. You have to like keep like trying to lead your shot. It becomes like increasingly more awkward like the longer you leave it. So like if you want to approach heat howitzers, your best bet is probably just like trying to get low or like get like really high or something. I don't know. Maybe like really low.
I think being able to do the vertical wiggle off one of these rooftops would be very killer, but I don't think either of these guys are at the level where they're going to be purposefully and strategically doing that kind of maneuver. See, here he's getting a little panicky. He's just throwing blue locks into the void, burning himself out. It's a matter of panic. He feels like he has to do something, that he has to get that space back. Now, this is a very good spot for Apple to fight. Because there's not a lot that Rascal can get away to. So he just kind of has to answer to the BRs and the spread missiles. I think Apple needs like a longer FCS. I'm not sure which one he's got. Alright, just some very clean back and forth up here. That was a very good laser tag, but those spread missiles put Rascal in the water. That had to be very close AP there. They were both down to below 10k. I'm not sure how low Rascal got though. Oh, Ben's wondering about the vertical wiggle. So when you do a glide boost off the corner of any like building, or like off the edge or lip of any sort of raised surface, you've probably seen it a couple times where somebody's AC will either gradually go all the way down and then slowly gain altitude over the course of the glide, or in some other cases, it will do the very crazy, like, V-shaped sine wave wiggles. And that can be really useful for throwing people off because it's just really difficult to track. Alright, Vorka City. The Noob Trap Dimension. Let us see if through the glory of combat they can find out who was in Paris. Right, Rascal here taking the top stage. Not bad. I feel like this is the natural first zone of any engagement. There are a couple of people who will opt to like fight around the spawn buildings, but that situation's very few and far between. This is just very typical. Rascal's gonna have to deal with a lot of laser poke, because there's nowhere for him to really get away to, at least not safely. He can get a lot of value out of howitzers, but he has to both get on one of Apple's flanks and get through the shield. Now, assuming Apple just positions well and plays the shield well, he's always gonna have Rascal at some kind of AP disadvantage, like right now. Played this very slowly and very patiently in the opening. Now Rascal's trying to get some height, and he just might. Apple with the good response though, that KE shield eating the brunt of the spread missiles so Rascal doesn't go plummeting back into the French pit.
Another thing on the glide boost wiggle as well, it's really easy to pull off. Sorry, the vertical wiggle. It's really easy to pull off on Windy, where it's not still not 100% consistent and it won't go off all the time. But the top of the buildings, you know, you have like the weird like little rectangle air vents like on top. You can like glide boost and clip your AC like off one of those to like send it into like a downwards arc, and that like triggers it as well. In the JP Pro Cup tourney is a really good example, because I'm pretty sure like maybe every player was literally just trying to like do it. They were just always glide boosting off like the same buildings and like always like clipping the same like places to like try and initiate like a vertical wiggle. Sometimes it doesn't really do much, but it can throw like opponents off a little bit when it happens. So it can just like that little throw off like when your opponent realizes it can buy you like a little bit of time on the gap close.
Been having a nice game of laser tag up there. I think Apple has still made it away with AP lead. I'm not too sure. Rascal needs to commit to the fucking scan. I beg. When you have downtime and you have the scan, take the information. It's literally free. 30,000 AP, that's what I thought. He's still in the lead up there. Rascal has an uphill battle, quite literally.
So Ben with the 12 shots, I think is more or less just the burst damage. I think for once, like over the 40 shot, they just do more damage, and the lock time is still like kind of similar anyway. So I think it's just purely like a damage thing.
It's also a lot less committal than a lot of the other lasers, right? It's a good balance between the 40 and the 4 shot. It's only 12 shots, so once it's gone, or if you figure you don't need it, it's something that's very easy to just toss away, and it frees up a lot of weight that your AC didn't have to deal with beforehand. So it can move you up like an entire speed tier with that weight gone.
Also, as well, like having some 6k permacharged laser that you can always flick out on demand, like, is something I guess to be like you gotta kind of respect it.
See, I think Apple's gotten rid of his. Rascal could very easily get rid of his here too. I think deciding to keep that weight when you no longer need to reliably take a shield out is a little bit of a folly as long as you're up against one of these heavyweights. I think even in general. Because we saw in the first game on L64 where the charged laser was only doing like a couple thousand a hit. That's really insignificant compared to what you would get by just freeing up that weight and raw dogging the 2 howitzers. Speak of the devil. Back where it all began, L64.
Trading hits on the Katie shields. At least think it's a Katie shield on the side. Another hit. Another trade. Yep. Alright, both shields down. I guess another thing you can probably do in these situations, if you want to preserve your shield and have a shield advantage over your opponent for late game, like, could have just, like... Especially since you're heavy, you can probably, like, pretend to keep the shield out and then swap it as soon as, like, you feel like you can get, like, a hit with the laser. Because the laser's probably only going to do about 2.5 to maybe even 3k, maybe I should say like 2.5k at most. I think for the sake of just losing a bit of like 2.5k and then breaking your opponent's shield and preserving yours, like it's probably like
It's insane value. I agree.
it's a worth trade.
One other thing here, and just in general, I wish these players were a lot more liberal with their recon usage and just taking fucking scans. Oh my god, please take the information. It is literally free. If you have these stickies, put them where your opponent is hiding. Get all the information in the world and figure out how you need to approach. You have breathing room, you have time, even if you have to approach from the back foot with lower AP. So I think what Apple is doing here to fight back is fine, committing to the BRs with the spread missiles. He doesn't need to be so afraid of Rascal's laser, but the howitzers he does have to be afraid of. I
Dude, when
don't.
your Rascal goes below underneath with the laser active, like I would just drop to the floor and glide boost at him when he goes underneath the bridge because there's not really much place you can do, and you don't really want to get like DPS by BRs under it. Like you just
Exactly.
Don't.
And
Well, you might take
until
a little bit of damage, but
yeah,
I mean you can do a hell of a lot more in the long run and come up with a positive trade.
I think instead of the laser here, he really needs to commit to the BRs until he's got an AP lead. It's good to try to win back pokes in these situations, but you have to think every time you go for these pokes, you're opening yourself up to the same thing from your opponent, right? Because they're trying to do the same. Because that's how you get in this predicament to begin with.
Alright, nice glide boost. Bit of fortunate that little teleport on top of the building is what it is. PCVD jank.
I mean, it could be PCVD,
Yeah,
it could be spectator
I would
bug.
literally just drop here. Just drop and glide boost down.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Okay, that gave him AP lead, so not the optimal decision, but it was one that paid off, and now Rascal has to come to him. This is where I would play back with the laser and the opposite of what we're doing right now.
Don't give up AP lead.
Yeah, there's no reason. You do infinitely more to him with the laser than he does to you. You have AP lead, you have all the space in the world. He probably has a longer lock range, though.
Just go to scan. Just go to scan. Just go to scan. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't look for the laser shot. You're gonna get attacked by heat howitzers. Somehow that didn't hit. No.
Now he's lost AP lead.
Yeah.
25 to 27.
Don't need to expose yourself like that. Yeah, now you're just gonna lose AP, like trying to chase. You didn't need to like lose AP to begin with.
You don't have to be so like careless with those BRs either. Like you can just wait for the red lock. You're not close enough to blue lock them.
You need to go.
Yep. You didn't have to back off. Alright. That was a game of mismanagement.
Just to be way more aggressive and just less afraid than you need to be, and then when you have AP lead, just don't give any free angles. I don't want to like. It's like in my tournament run, right? Like even when I had AP lead on the light, especially okay, like against Phantasma is like a great example when he had the double Kurosawas. Like I had AP lead and I had to like time scum him, right? But all I had to do was just not give him an angle, and like I kind of like did that, but just dancing around any sort of building or just don't give him like any opportunity to like take AP lead back.
Correct.
Even if it just means like go to the other side of the map if you have to, or just play around anything.
Yeah, all Apple had to do right there is what Rascal's been doing to him all game. Just play back. Slow down. Not everything has to be like a decision you have to force, right?
So you don't, yeah, like you don't always like have to play like, dude. watching. I think will be good homework though, right? For I guess some people is watch Nata's YouTube channel and watch how he plays the 47-4-1-1 quad. Like the guy is not like the guy is obviously like mechanically good, but like he's not like a really high fast tempo player. Like he
Yeah.
just knows how to like control the game. Like he just makes like all the right decisions and just like knows when to push, when not to push, like how
On
to
and off the
approach.
court, straight fundamentals.
Dude, like I probably took like 2 games off him like the whole time after about like 50 games I played him in JP because like even though I still felt like I was mechanically like better than him, like he just knows how to like he knows how to like slow you down.
Exactly.
And
That's one thing I noticed that was pretty consistent when we were playing in Japan. A lot of those players don't really want to overplay, right? Like,
just gotta take the small wins and all the small wins add up.
yep.
I
All
definitely
right.
think it's good homework. Just watch how he just watch how he plays and how he approaches like just the like duels in a nutshell. Also like the fact that Nata probably has like the best shield usage that I've ever seen. And that's also like really good. Just how he like constantly like switches shields like in and out to preserve the KE. Dude, he can make like a KE shield like seem like it's like some fucking tank AC. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, when we did our duels on DSA, when Rascal was making it, that dual shield heavy that I was fucking tilting you with, I had just gone off the back of like a massive Nada dual binge. You learn so much from just watching strong plays. So here in this matchup, once again, Rascal versus Apple. We have Rascal's POV. He's essentially in the same build, but on a heavyweight with missiles instead of a mid. And he gave up the tower after a very bad scuffle at the start. I think Apple's in some kind of Talima. Yeah. Talima, shotgun, 3BR, some kind of missile. I think that's a heat howitzer I just saw. Straight through the shield, although I think that was the explosive radius from them tagging the ground in front of Rascal. Wait, is this a heavy or is it a... Yeah, it is a heavy, okay. From the side, it looked like the fragrant mid. Rascal barely keeping AP lead here.
Alright, I'm back.
3 minutes on the clock, a 1k AP difference between them. Take the fucking full scan. See what they have in their hands. See what they're thinking about. Just take the scan, please. I beg. Rascal throwing him maybe to the ground with missile stun, or maybe Apple misplayed there, I'm not sure. Now Rascal comfortably in the lead. He's gonna just try to play back with the VTFs in the howitzers. Very risky trades here in this heavy, because that 3BR is just gonna eat him alive. One more volley kills Apple though, even a stray single volley, I think 3 pellets kills here. And he might just get it if he gets this turn off. No? Is he hitting his shield? I'm not quite sure here. Unless he's hitting missiles and that's counting for a hit marker. Alright. Clean up.
Alright, I just dropped Nata's YouTube channel in the Discord if anyone's curious.
Let's see, what else is in DMP1? We've been on L64, we've been on Borka, we've been on Windy, we've been on CSA. We've been on Vosta. Ah, DSA. Right, I forgot. Right. Apple's POV on the deep sea. This is a very unique map. A lot of ways you can play it. I am, however, going to leave you in full control of the commentary here, Toast, because I need to be right back.
Oh, you do this to me, huh? Alright, okay, get the stream back. Why is the scope being shit? Alright, I did miss the beginning of this, so I'm not sure what builds people playing, but I noticed a pulse, shot pulse in the back. I'm guessing heat howitzers and I can't tell what's in the. I'm guessing no, he's a heat howitzer 3BR VTS shot pulse. Okay. And then I'm not sure what Rascal is playing. Also can't tell the AP leads here either. Okay, 37 to 32. Okay, nice pulse gun hit on the shield. Is Russell in heavy or medium? Looks like heavy. Might just be chatting shit. Yeah, these approaches into the VTF brutal. Another nice laser tag and another nice volley of VTFs. At this point, I'd probably just stick with the howitzer and the 3BR and try and like deal with the KE shield from a safe distance as opposed to like approaching it. I feel like you could also like purge off the pulse gun as well for extra weight. So like I said, I'm not really sure on the builds. I can't say for certain if that's like the best thing to do. Yeah, these howitzer missiles, like, are just doing such a good job in kiting out.
Alright, I have returned.
Bit unfortunate. Yeah, a bit unfortunate trying to hide behind the pillars when there's VTFs in play, since the splash will just hit you with the pillar regardless. I guess it's probably a case for like a lot of the geometry on this map, where the geometry is not that like thick, where the VTF explosions will like hit you through the majority of the stuff, apart from like maybe the rocks in the middle.
It's true. You've not even set from
really
him
tell.
under the platform.
I think the biggest takeaway from that though is I think the whole entire match, because I missed the beginning, and so I missed up until 4 minutes 30 odd seconds in, but not once did I know what Rascal was using because I didn't see a scan come through.
Tragic.
I just had to kind of guess what he had. I didn't know if he was in like a heavy. I knew he had like a K shield with like a laser and like heat tower, so I'm guessing he was just like on his tournament AC. But like I literally couldn't tell because like not once there was like a scan. Like really need to take in the info.
Alright, Rascal's POV.
That was a really nice hit.
Yeah.
Right off the beginning. Get full usage out of the heat howitzer's like pseudo infinite range, I guess. Another nice VTF volley. This is like prime position though. This is what you want to do like in this situation. Like from Rascal's POV is like just control this top end and forcing your opponent to like hide underneath, and then every time they try like going up, you just like hit them with VTFs. Okay, nice aggression. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see on L64 as well. It's just like continue.
See,
to
look at how
chase down.
close he's staying. And you know he's got more than enough energy to keep this up now too, especially against Rascals in the Vortex.
I
I'd
think
say
this is
Apple
also
has
good.
around like 50 or 60 energy right now. I really hate the fucking weapon loadout on Apple's heavy though. It's schizophrenic, like what Apollo had done to the 37-490 mid.
I think this is also probably a good opportunity to like go over, I guess, the. I've only ever really seen one person talk about it, which is Sash. Go over the concept of, like, turn making, because it's actually like turn making actually like comes into like so many other like competitive games as well, especially like games like League and shit like that, where once you see like your opponent like kind of go all in or like take like their turn or like maybe going for like a pop shot or something like that or wherever, it kind of like opens up time for you to also try and find an angle and then take your shot or something, right? But I think the biggest essence and what I'm trying to like get at is for both players like really leaning into glide boost builds and being like quite I don't really know what word I'm looking for, but I guess not well managed with the glide boosts. That both players are kind of just like glide boosting and just emptying the gen, right?
Yeah, they're not
Once
taking
see,
like
your
short trade
opponent-
windows.
It's like once you see your opponent just like glide boosting for ages and then they stop, you could probably just like assume that like they're quite low, and then it's because then you take the initiative for you to kind of like go in and pressure them, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of that will come with experience, though. It's one of
I
those
will
things
say,
that becomes more intuitive the more like you understand about the game around you, right?
I will say, it is hard to sometimes tell if your opponent's on like a high output or high like capacity, because you could just be on like Vital and you just have like infinite energy anyway. But even if you like take like Strek mid duels for example, and both like players are on Vital,
It's
like once
very
one person goes into like a glide rush and they try to get off their damage, at the moment their glide ends, you immediately know they're low energy, and then you should just like initiate your glide and try and get your damage off, where they can't like
yeah.
scurry away like into like scurry away around like buildings or something, or get into cover to like avoid damage. And then that very much comes up into like opens up the different, I guess, concepts of like generator matchups, right? Like high output is high capacities and whatnot. Like knowing like when you should like go in. Like off the beginning, like you just opt to play defensive and just take as little damage as possible, but your opponent's trying to glide rush you, and then you just kind of go in with superior energy output and just win the long game.
Yeah. I wonder if we're gonna see another like very panicked scramble like at the end of the last match here. It's already ripped that shield off with a pretty good volley. I still hate this weapon setup. I don't know why the shotgun is behind the 3BR. I don't know why it's 4 different weapons trying to do 4 different things at 4 different ranges. This
Like,
is
let's try and gauge. Take this for example, right? Like Rascal should be out of NG because I did just see him glide boost about 10 seconds ago. He should be quite low. So I would just do I would just pressure him. Like I would just pressure him here, right? Like surely he's on about 40%.
yeah. You see the laser out. That means
Glide
he can
boost
only
again.
hit you with 1 howitzer and BTFs. So he's obviously he's got to spend more energy than Apple does getting away. So Apple
Also,
can
this
just
is
bully
like
the
why
shit
I
out of him.
This is why I wish Apple would also use scan, right? Because would it also be situations where you could think to yourself, if Rascal is baying the laser, is he low on NG? As he bayed the laser, yes, do I just go in?
This is why I hate the fucking howitzer BR combo. Half your damage is never there. And you have nothing assisting the 3BR, which does need, like... It needs something supplementary to help it do what it's supposed to do. Don't turn your back to the platform there trying to get up. It's very bad. If Rascal had a little bit more prescience and resources, he could have ended the fight there. Also, with the weapons you're not using in a matchup like this, purge them. Get rid of them. Free up the weight and drain. You need it. I promise. Take the scan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think once, like, you needed the like, I guess, like, I don't think you really thought about using the shotgun pulse gun, so, like, you could just immediately dump that off. Again, then you'd be faster, and then you can stick to your opponent easier because you have extra mobility. You also have better EN economy.
It's all small things like that that are snowballing these engagements one way or another too. It's not even like big major things. It's all the small things that build up these hairline fractures in the game plan. Right, Rotona. The Rotona 500. Pretty solid hour-ish block of comms so far. Hope they don't ask me about what game it is, because I have not been paying attention. I've just been processing whatever's in front of me.
Yeah, I say, I know when we're talking, it's probably like so much stuff to take in, but
Ooh,
okay, is this a sniper receipt? Yeah, okay.
risky
Right
little
buttons.
V15 sniper lightweight. Very bull arm, so his damage cycle is gonna be a little bit slow. Are these Latcos or Psycats?
There's lats. They have 31 ammo. Well, they started off with 31 ammo. I think.
And
Well,
he's
the
got
32 rank on that is like
Tokunatsu on
50.
this. Alright, let's see. Is he gonna scan? Does Rascal have his shield? We don't know.
Another nice pop shot. Back to the crane. Nice.
Heat
Get
howitzer,
damage.
pulse gun, and out into the middle of nowhere. Little random
Okay,
missile
nice damage.
explosion. Get your energy back, get to the top of the dome here. You don't need to be playing this low to the ground.
Nice, nice.
This is another matchup where if you scan and you see that they don't have anything you need the Wakakusa for, you just fucking throw it away. See, look at all this time you have that. You have this fast scanning head and you're not using it. Why? I need PCVD players to fucking scan. I need you to take the information that is given to you and read it. It will make you better faster, I promise.
I don't even know what weapons Apple's using, but he's just kind of dying. Oh,
Yeah,
wait, I see the Nidori.
it's a Nidori. It's the
managed to
same
catch
heavy
that.
as last time. It's very hard to fight that on Rotona with a loadout like that because none of your weapons work together to fight a sniper. You can't pin down that light. You have
See,
weapons that
also in
hurt
that
the light.
situation as well, could have ditched a Wakakusa.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
So,
Probably didn't even need the KE shield. Not that that's much weight, but you know, free like what is it, 215 or something like that. I think I'm spectating the same player again.
most of
Whoops.
these, most of these fights, I'm just trying to like, because there's no scans coming through. I'm just trying to like do some guesswork based on the enemies that you see, like the silhouette, like in scan mode. Um, I guess. Oh, that's another thing as well. With the whole like shield game thing I was on about earlier. Um, Like, and just like swapping your shield in and out like at different times. Or maybe even like try and bait shot, swap the shield out, preserve it, break your opponent's one or something. Like, you don't even need to be in full scan to like see if they got the shield in or out or not, because you can like visually just see them swapping it. So like, you can be like really quick to like guess like if the shield's in or out. Just gonna like pay attention to the like silhouette of the AC. Rather, like you don't even have to like look at the weapon loadout in like full scan.
Exactly.
So you can make like quick like decisions based off that. Like the moment you see your opponent like switching a weapon, like you can just like swap yourself, right? Like you can just like be quick about it.
Yep.
Rather than waste time, get a full scan. Oh, they got the shield out. Oh yeah, they got the shield out. Okay, I'll make my swap now, because then they might just be ahead of you. And they'll see your silhouette swap, and then now all of a sudden they don't have a shield out anymore. Then you're stuck in like a swap, and then they can just rush you when you're like only got one usable weapon.
Alright, I believe Apple is in a lightweight of his own. Yep. Or is that a mid? Might be a very... That stat line's a little weird. Very good going ahead and ditching the Wakakusa. You just don't need it. No KE shield, nothing to worry about. Run the snipes. See, he's got snipers. Play the shield. Now the onus is on him to break it.
Does he have? Does your opponent have a shield? I didn't see. Sorry.
He's got some kind of shield.
What shield is it?
I think it might be a CE shield.
T. T shield.
Yeah, okay, so that's only taking like 2 shots from either Zlat and then it's gone.
I wouldn't even bother with the KE shield here. Right. Yeah, I would swap it out now.
A little bit too eager, playing too wide. That's a very, like, greedy position to be, because you just get put out here in the open for no good reason.
Preserve the KE shield. Preserve it.
In this kind of matchup, I would never want to give up this platform. You would not catch me in a lightweight playing out here in the open. It's around the drum and the pillar and nowhere else.
Okay. KE shield swap. This is fun. Taking a bit of chip damage is like okay.
It's only going to take like 2 Zlat shots to even this up. Maybe 1 good Zlat shot depending on the netcode.
Also have to remember, like, it's 1 slat. This is 2 slats. Just don't, just don't get hit by the pulse gun.
You don't need to be greedy with blue locks or anything. You can just...
Nice hit.
Ooh, staggered. Staggered by the Zlatko, that's disgusting. But that is the biped sin counter. Don't know where that red lock went. We'll pretend it didn't happen. Really wasting shots on the left arm. That is not a position you want to be in with this kind of AP left on the table.
Also, you have to remember here, if you waste your shots on your left arm, you're now then reduced to. If you need to use the shield, you can't fire back.
Exactly. I was gonna commit to it. Little dangerous. He has AP lead now, though. I would not be taking these shots. There was no reason to take like 20 of these shots. Could have waited for the red lock. It tagged him with the bomb for 2k, very nice. Still don't have to take shots here. You just don't have to fire the gun. You don't. It's like half of his ammo wasted for no reason.
Another cool thing that would be good in this situation, this is probably like something niche, but I just thought about it. If you don't have auto page on, you could just bait the fact that you still have 2 Zlatros.
That's true.
In scan. Play mind games.
Alright, Rascal winning with the slow float play style.
But to be fair, having like a token out too lightweight, like and having that extra weight on is not really gonna matter too much, but
I really think the ammo and positioning mismanagement here could have been punished a lot harder.
I did the same thing with bowls back in the day where I actually played Nato's 47 forward 1 quad against bowls. And I ran out of I ran out of ammo on my Kurosawa, like, really early on into the match because I kept trying to tag him with the Sour. But I had AP lead. I was just hiding behind the building with the Kurosawa out, and I just refused to get rid of it with the Pidge. And I just stopped balls from pushing for at least like 2 minutes because he didn't want to get tagged by a Kurosawa and he wasn't counting the shots.
Yeah, that's just another easy layer of information the PCVD players can take in. There's a lot of really common weapons right now. You know pretty much how much ammo all of them are going to have. Because hardly anybody's running extra ammo. Everybody wants a missile that you also have the ammo count for yourself. You just gotta actively scan and remember these things. It can be a little bit annoying to work it into your mental stack at first, even if you're struggling to play the game like mechanically. But it is very important.
It's interesting to have a sniper with a TE shield though.
Especially with a TE core. It's again, relatively fast scanning heads. Hardly any scans. Wait, does he have a fucking CE head on this? I can't tell. Very close AP so far.
Just take a breather. Just get you in back. See, it looks like you could have glide boosted with like 30% of your gen.
Didn't have to take those shots. Didn't have to panic in response. Safe there. He's on Berry Bull.
Really needed to leave the drum, to be honest. Just keep the power position. But I know you don't have AP lead, but
no, he has AP
lead.
lead.
You have AP lead. Right, nice hit.
He's had AP lead this whole time.
See, I can't tell.
Oh.
Yeah, he kind of left the drum for no reason and just give it a PP lead.
Yep.
Like, you don't need to leave the drum. Like, Rascal has to come to you. Albeit with double snipers or with a shield out. If the shield's out, you can get hit with pulse gun.
You also know he's on Tokunatsu, so like 1 or 2 high boosts and he no longer has the energy to exist in the open air. It'll look like he does, but all he can really do is float in the open really quickly. Like here he's gliding, he's gonna high boost once, then he's gonna be out of energy. So he's back over here now. 1, 2, now his energy's down. Now he's gonna have full energy. Comes the second high boost. A lot of panic happening here.
Yeah, it's kind of just losing AP for no reason. I wouldn't even leave the drum. Just force him to come to you. Nice pulse gun here.
Yeah, it's still overplaying and overcorrecting for mistakes that didn't need to happen.
No, 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 you have AP lead. Don't, no. Just go to the drum. Just go to the drum. Just need to go to the drum.
Yep.
It's 50 seconds. Look, timer. 50 seconds left. Oh, okay.
No longer has AP lead. That was a shield hit. We're down 2k AP for no reason.
I think it's just mismanagement again. This is like...
Yeah.
Again, also just wasting too much gen in high boost trying to like wiggle shots. Like spamming high boost.
Firing the Mahoan from way too far away too.
See?
What was all that movement for?
Like, didn't really get close and then you were like, didn't have the energy. Even if you like got close to Rascal there, you wouldn't have the energy to fire the own.
A lot of this does start in the garage though. These are 2 builds with decent ideas, but I don't think they're put together the best.
I think it'd be easier on Apple's POV. So if you had a K shield instead of the T.
Yeah, especially let me double check this build. KE head, dash bog core, unmodified arms. He's probably really close on the weight there on the V15s. Down to the desert, the Vasto mines. It's hard for me to differentiate between the light and the mid. Medium biped legs. Okay. That changes things. Have a lot more weight to play with. You have more things you can do. This is not the frame I would do midweight sniping on. Not in any stretch of the imagination. The Lin legs, very good idea for it. Not the rest of that. I feel like on a sniper, unless you are a very specific lightweight sniper on like the shield legs, things like Kocho arms, 215 core, 227 head, and then like the first shield light biped legs, then you don't want the TE shield like ever. You always want the KE shield. Shuts down enemy snipers, and as a sniper, you're naturally supposed to outrange, outpace, and outposition your threats. Rascal and a sniper cannon TE quad. Let's see if he gets any shots here. Very good lead up. Do not contest the tower. Just go up through the desert or on the dunes that we do in the team games. Shout out to my dead body in the rock. Alright, standard Vosto duel territory. Up here in the big ones, you probably don't want to contest the sniper cannon quad head on. 2 shields, 1 laser rifle. This is ambitious. He's got a sniper cannon. You can just glide up to him. When you hear that first shot go out and it doesn't hit, glide.
God.
Scan mode tells you these things. 2 shields and 140 shot with missiles. Ambitious. I would not have gone for this setup. I think it's easier to just do 1 shield, 2 laser rifles.
The laser speed on duels is oh, 2K, it's 2K shield, isn't it?
Yeah. It's on the TE frame too. Hermitchar is just waiting it out. How it should be. The ball is in Apple's court. There isn't really much to say here. This is gonna be bog standard laser speed gameplay. You float, you charge, you lock, you shoot.
You float backwards, you push the buttons, peek.
Rascal has 2 TE shields, or 2 KE shields, my bad here, that Apple absolutely has to deal with. If he does not aggress, then this game is basically a non-game. Like if you get hit with Max C in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and you don't have Ash Blossom or Called By or Cross Out, it's just game over. It's just checkmate. Playing a TE quad like this kind of setup, it's like a rich man trying to pass through the gates to heaven. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. Karmic retribution will not be kind. While you may be able to carry the weight of the sin now, the burden will eventually become too great. And a little boundary gaming. Completely unnecessary, but fuck it, we ball. Apple managing to take one of two plural KE shields down to about 1400. Matches like this, you could probably bottle it up and sell it as human sadness.
These are the matches that make me mold.
Just 5 very painful minutes. Herculean labor and Sisyphean tasks. You get that young Apple POV yet again. Oh, if you're gonna do, is that Cat or is that Spee? I can never tell whatever names they've picked apart in the Discord. It's all
It's
homogenous. After this duel, do you want me to do commentary over that match or to get your live commentary on it? That way I can be a neutral host for the hotspot.
If you want.
Yeah, sure. You know what's fucked up? This whole time I've been watching the Street Fighter 6 EWC Top 16 on my other monitor. We are fucking multitasking, bro.
That's fucked up. Dude, I literally can't play fighting games in my life.
It's a steep learning curve, but it's not a lot different from learning Armored Core. Like everything has a purpose. You just gotta learn the fundamentals and go from there. Bro, Ben, Subway Surfers and that shit makes my fucking brain melt. I can't stand it, man. We in a laser heavy? No, it's a PMG. It's a Psycad, Arcide, 3BR, KE shield. Maybe subs in the shoulder? Not quite sure. We'll find out. See how fast these lock on. Cobalt? Is that the same quad? It might be. Oh, was that an
No, the other one
Akagiri?
had 48. The other quad was 48.
Oh, it's a tank! It's an autocannon tank. Is it the 2036 CE frame, though? Pull that KE shield out. That tank ain't gonna do fuck all versus that. You have the high ground. Get a scan off, see if your 3BR hits it. It's on Baikal legs, so probably not. You can safely discard your PMG here. You really want to bring the
Oh, don't give
KE
up
shield
high
out.
ground.
There's so many, like, little mistakes before the game's even really, like, started. You don't gotta play like that. Just take the scan. Press right trigger. Get the information. I beg of you. You don't even have to do this. You don't have to be taking the missiles. You have a KE shield. 2169. Okay, your entire right-hand side is obsolete in this matchup. Fuck. This is why I hate having the 3BR with nothing to supplement it. It is not good enough. It needs a shotgun. It needs some sort of good armor break. It's not a good standalone weapon.
But also, like, you can't even just use the sniper as a poke weapon now, like with shield, because you have to, like, sacrifice the...
Exactly. It's just so many little mistakes before the game even leaves the garage phase. You could just go for a KE shield kick on this, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
We still don't know what the shoulder unit is here, and on a heavy, if it's just subs for one sniper and a 3BR.
It has the sub icon.
Oh yeah, it does. I didn't even pay attention to that. Does Rascal have a KE shield now? Okay, now the 3BR has value. Still though, you can ditch the pulse machine gun. It serves literally zero purpose. Purge yourself. Now!
You can't get...
Back out into the
Can't get
open.
kited. Can't get kited by the tank like this.
Yep, you are going to have less energy and everything. Now you're bottomed out, you're gonna eat a lot of
Also,
autocannon
like,
damage.
Also, it would be easier to dodge the missiles inside Glide Boost, cutting your boosters down back to the ground, because the missiles will just chase you down to the ground, and if you have a hard landing, like, you're just gonna get hit by the missiles. It's easier to just maintain glide and just try and brush past them or something. Just go for the kick, alright?
Please, I beg, use the full health KE shield against the KE tank. I beg! I beg!
He's probably gonna be out of... Because if you just dodge the missiles, the autocannons ain't gonna do anything. So if you're just in glide, like, you can just, like, have the KE shield out, just glide boost around, not take damage, just dodge the missiles, and then once he's out of missiles, because he's using mediums, they have, like, no ammo. I think they have, like, 24 missiles, is it? I want to say? Or was it 32? I think it's 24, though.
Alright, I'm gonna host for you and Kat.
But, yeah, like, in that situation, just KE shield out, take all the autocannon flak, dodge the missiles, and then you can be taking no damage the whole entire fight. But that sniper needs to swap sides with the KE shield.
Yep. Alright. Slide in, dog. Or do you even have the game booted up right now, Toast?
Yeah, we're on DMP 1, though,
Yeah.
if that makes a difference.
Yeah, yeah. This will also absolve you two of having the host bug, if I'm not mistaken. Although I'm not sure how that...
Yeah. Alright. Let's get a mute, that's all.
Gotcha. Let's see. We'll also mute in Discord so I don't fuck up his concentration. Alright, so Toast, 47-4-11 quad. Playing like there's money on the line. See here, we already have the scan against another 47-4-11 quad. I think Toast is gonna look to get some free chip damage from out there. I see a laser charging in the distance. Why would you? Yeah, Cat doesn't really have the concept of the approach, so Toast is gonna take the onus, play across the river. This is gonna be very slow, very back and forth here at the start until somebody gets an AP lead and the panic sets in. You can see here a lot of the shield juggling, just preparing for whatever fight is about to happen. Swing out wide, get a flank, look for the Sawa. Don't find it, jump back in. Now we're just gonna play the tight angles. I think Toast knows he could have taken that shot, but I think the fear is a little bit much. Like he's just kind of he's stanced up here, and he's trying to pressure Cat into making an overplaying mistake. Like right there, it's a tag. How Toast knows he has the high ground. Toast knows he has more energy. Really unlucky Sazanami's there. This is all still really acceptable chip damage, though. We see both weapon swaps. Cat no longer has their shield, so Toasty's kind of just free to play crazy style. See here, the AP lead is still, it's only 3k. That just got nullified. Toasty's just very slow, very about his business. He's doing this thing he discussed earlier with the auto purge off. He wanted to mind game the shield a little bit there. Plus get rid of it because he swapped it out right as it got destroyed. That's a bug that happens sometimes. Really nice little side lock there. The very last possible second, I think. Now Toast, I need you to take a scan because I can't see these fucking AP numbers. I think he's in the lead, but not by much. Yeah, it's very close. That was 17k to 21k. Doing his best to stay behind. 4k off that volley. Disgusting damage. Can't go back any further, though, because that's the boundary. So this is a good example of the turn-making Toast was talking about earlier. At the start of the fight, he wanted to get rid of the shield. He got rid of the shield. And from there, it was just playing slow around the buildings and forcing Cat to overplay. And that's the kill shot. No unnecessary risks, plenty of energy, still has Sovzanamis in the bank. You could tell when Cat's panic started to kick in, especially when Toast took the like the rear angle there. Now Toast needs to go yellow leader. Hold on, let me unmute in Discord real quick. Yo, Toast, if you hear me right now, go yellow leader. Oh, he's fucking deafened. What an ape. What a goon. We do a little bullying. Alright, CSA. So as I discussed in the Rascal and Hollow sets earlier, very CQC friendly map. There does exist like a little pop shot dynamic here, but I don't think it's superior to anything like that. like they're staying on the same quad. Oh, do a little self-destructage. Back into the cuck chair. Oh no, this is a heavy. Alright.
Noah, quick question. But am I allowed to change ACs, or is that like a thing, or what? Like, I don't know what the rules are.
Up to you, honestly. If you want to change, change.
Alright.
3BR, plasma, pulse gun, and a tank. I really don't like this weapon setup. It's the same kind of setup I was chiding Hollow 4 about earlier. The biggest issue is that none of these weapons are doing anything together. They're not killing anything. Like, sure, the plasma can hit okay against the heavy, but if the heavy blocks that 3BR, what are you really doing, you know? You're not gonna pin down any lightweights, you're not gonna pin down any midweights. This is Sash tech for people who are not Sash, and I need people to stop building with these schizophrenic loadouts. I really do. You put yourself at so many disadvantages in the garage before you even load in. Like, Sash Tech works for Sash because he's Sash and has done shit like that since the Xbox era, and he knows what he's doing, right? But for the average player, that's just not the case. Like, look at that. Every trade here is gonna be a loss versus that tank. Like, yeah, sure, you took 10, 20k off the tank, but the tank took 30, 40k off you in a trade. Well, not just in a trade, over the course of the game, right? Already 2k just from, like, a stray heat cannon and some auto cannon rounds. Another 2k gone, and it's over. That was kind of a non-game, just from the garage phase alone. That's one thing that will always make me mauled. Just, you want to maximize your chances at winning, don't sabotage yourself before you've even loaded into a match, you know? There are so many more good decisions you could be making. Tank duels are very, very hard if you verse somebody like Phantasmar or Chang or Toasty. I think those are the only three right now on PCBD who are like super scary tank duelists. Oh wait, I'm the fucking host. Whoops. I gotta do this. I have a small brain, my apologies. Alright, run back on the tank game. If this is that same heavy, the same thing's about to happen. Maybe a little bit of stagger from the missiles, but the plasma and every other trade is just gonna be fake as fuck. I'm pretty sure Toasty's even on a frame that's weak to the 3DR. It's on Elbrus legs, so... Hey, there's a little damage, but it doesn't matter because he's immediately traded for way fucking more. He knows Cat's behind him. Now he just has to go down, go back, get space, ride the wall, get back to a favorable platform. As long as he's, like, over here, it's a very uphill battle. Tanks are very strong on this portion of the map. They have easy ways to get height advantage. They have ways to get under. They have plenty of things to run missiles into. Yeah. That's just a matchup that's over before it begins. That AC just cannot fight a tank with one effective 3BR and missiles that only stun occasionally. It's already an uphill battle because on this map, Toasty is a very strong and competent tank player. He is normally, but on this map, that kind of play is exacerbated. Alright, L64. We'll see what kind of change of pace this brings about in the matchup. We'll see if Cat goes for any AC swaps. We'll see if Toast stays on the tank. We'll see what happens. One thing that's going to be important here is how much information people gather. That's important always, but in situations like this where you're not sure what your opponent's going to bring, it's probably the most important thing. It's the little handshake phase at the beginning of every stage you have where both players just want to use their recons to actually get a scan off before any serious fights happen. The one thing I was begging for earlier, alright, shotgun, 3BR, plasma gun, an actual human loadout versus a 50,000 quad. I think this is Ryu's quad. Now, the plasma gun is going to do mega work here. You see, already ripped it down to like 44k. However, as quickly as that lead, well, not even a lead, as quickly as that trade came, it's going to go. Toasty doesn't have to contest height here. He still has AP lead. He can play as slow and as measured as he wants. He can take whatever angles he wants. Very interesting to try and drag them out. See, very good. He's forcing them out into the open to burn their gen, looping back around, and then giving himself an avenue to slip back into the city safely. There were a lot of layers to what he just did that I can't really explain because it's all just kind of very intuitive stuff at this point. And now it's an uphill battle. Shotgun 3BR versus a monster quad. The missiles are gonna be doing most of the work here. If Cat gets any missile locks at all. Just opting to keep the KE shield out. I'm not sure what has him spooked here. He doesn't really need it. Although it does, right now, give him an extra avenue of safety. He knows the plasma is very unlikely to hit. So he's not really in any worry of the shield going down. I don't think he even needs it to preserve the AP lead, to be honest. It's a good safety net to have. The optimal thing, I guess, is to keep it. No, I think Cat is playing on a hotspot, they said. I'm not 100% sure to the veracity of that claim. But this is an uphill battle for someone who looks like they're struggling a bit tracking and controlling their own AC. The best thing you can do here against a build like this is just continue the glide pressure. Because right now, there's not a lot of pressure coming out, and it's a little bit too late, so all the quad has to do is just play backwards. The quad has every resource known to man. Full energy, more AP, stronger weapons from a range. There's not a good answer to approaching that quad with that kind of setup, but it can be done. You really you have to identify the quad's downtime and hit it with just the nastiest shotgun plasma glide rush known to man. Preferably, you want to be able to position yourself in such a way to take a flank because that quad cannot turn. And it really, really relies on the wall jumps. Okay. I figured there was probably a little bit of that happening, but I didn't think that was what the shield was for, but good to know regardless. Still just preserving the life lead either way. Alright, Windy City Dojo, home of the warlords. Where an overwhelming amount of just the sweatiest, highest level duels known to man take place. We saw a little bit of it at the start of the set with the TE quad mirror. Let's see how they decide to swap it up and approach it now. There's one thing I'm always going to bring up that I hate with the team layout of this. Whoever's on the opposite side, opposite team starts on the opposite side of the river, and they have a longer way to contest the normal areas of play here by this side's bridge, like that line of buildings up against the bridge at the front. Oh, I did that too early. Fuck. No problem. There should be a boundary like right over here. We're going on a little adventure chat. Maybe I'm schizophrenic. Oh yeah. It would have been faster to go the other way. I got dyslexic for a minute. Oh well, shit's happening. 30 seconds have passed. You can see the AP down there. A little bit of a trade going on. Quite a bit of burst damage that happened there. Alright, another TE quad. This one with oh no, this is just a regular infighter quad. KE core, TE arms, KE head. So he's already ditched his left hand for whatever. Now it's Strakoza 3BR, which absolutely fine here. The 3BR is supplemented by the Strakoza and the missiles. And it also hits like a freight train against whatever this 1200 KE or 1200 CE AC is. I think it's another one of those AMA heavies that's running around right now. Now, the plasma gun is a real threat here against this quad because it's not TE stacked. It's very mortal. It only has, let's say, like a 900 something TE, maybe. The Animus arms, I don't remember what they're called in VD. They offer a lot of TE, but also not a lot. It's a very weird category. Is the defense thresholds in TE and the damage you get from those thresholds is so extreme. Because even if you get 900, alright, you blocked out every pulse machine gun, but plasma guns and pulse guns don't give a fuck, right? Still though, it is not enough to out DPS effective BR spam, especially with those missiles. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of that matchup. Those weapons just want to DPS race each other. This quad is just purpose made to bully out anything weak to it. And it's very effective at doing just that. You have to be really flexible and really reactive to be able to like actually respond to what it's doing. And if you're not prepared for something like that, if you don't know the optimal responses to it on a given map, it's very easy to just get overwhelmed and swept up in the tempo. And suddenly you've lost a lot of AP to a damage race you thought you were supposed to win. But I assume what happened there is Cat ran themselves out of energy quite quickly, probably. Either trying to avoid the BRs or trying to get in to deal damage with the plasma, and then subsequently not having enough from either doing too much plasma firing or too much dodging. But we'll see how this matchup plays out now from this POV. Return to naval port, everything's gonna happen here around the drum. 2 heat howitzers, a Mahoan on an AMA. This is a heat cannon arm lightweight. Oh, this is gonna be horrible. Look at how much damage has come out before Cat's even had a chance to respond to it. Now Toast is already away, he's getting his energy. This is downtime. You can challenge him on this. He has AP lead, you do have to go to him. None of this howitzer gameplay matters. As soon as you get those missile launches, you can fire them. You now have AP lead. You go back to the dome. You sit and wait because he has to get up there and approach you. Oh, now you have AP lead. I thought that first volley did. It looked like a lot more hit than I thought. Unless he's got a shield out. I didn't quite catch what silhouette his main hands are. We haven't gotten a fucking scan yet. Get information. It's full, 100%. Now we know the heat cannons are out. Missiles did not manage to knock Toast out of Glide. Now the A-May, they're not even the A-May, is it? It's like a, this is Aoi or Barguzin. Either way, it does not have the turning to keep up with a creature like this. So the mistake there was A, giving up the drum, and B, after you got AP lead, continuing to bottom yourself out by chasing around the crane there. You didn't have to do that. You could have just backed away. That's an uncommon matchup on PCVD though. PCVD though, and he doesn't play this often. So it's not like a lot of people have a lot of experience versus something like that. I'm on the same POV again. That's my bad, but we're here now, so fuck it, we ball. Alright, a little workshop action. Another big problem there was just picking a really high execution heavy. We're playing against probably one of the top 2 players on PCBD right now. It's not something you want to add into like your mental stack to have to do. You don't want to have to pick a build that requires a lot of execution because you're going to be swept up in the tempo of a guy who is going to make you move where he wants you to move and make you take the fights he wants you to take. You have to play something that's a little bit more forgiving, with more leeway, that covers more bases. That sounds very vague and ambiguous, because there are a lot of things that do that. There's not like one size fits all kind of build for that. Sniper cannon action. Good lineups here. These are shots I would take personally. I do not have the AP lead though. See, trying to copy the Strek 3BR strat, I respect it. Don't know what's in the shoulders, couldn't exactly tell. Don't have to waste the shots. You can be a little bit more cautious, but he's not gonna give you much for free. So, knowing that he has heat howitzers here, the smart thing, since you're a CE arm quad, would be to ditch this, or not ditch the shield, but to put it in the bay. That way it doesn't take any free, like, stray heat howitzer shots before you proper get in. Now, we have another teachable moment here. Another set of mistakes has been made in the garage before the game ever loaded in. Strek 3BR is great, but you have to have something to pair with the Strakoza for when the 3BR is not going to hit effective. This is one of those matchups where it's not going to hit effective because you're fighting another quad. And because you went for the CE arm single shoulder route, all of your missiles are basically going to be doing half the damage that your opponents will if they have a dual shoulder option. Which, there's an argument for it in certain matchups. This is not one of them. This is not a setup where you want a single shoulder missile. I also don't think it's one where you want the KE shield. I think the sniper cannon is okay, but the shield was unnecessary and you really need something to back up the 3BR for things like this. Now we see a little bit of floundering. I feel like there's probably a little defeatism sinking in. But this is just some of that stuff that comes with experience. So, one good thing to touch on, when you're in a matchup like this, where it's very uphill, you have like one effective weapon, maybe a missile that's kind of a Hail Mary. This is when you start doing crazy style shit, and you contest the top of every building, you go for kicks, and you just make an effort to play unpredictably and recklessly. Because under the normal circumstances, you don't have a way to claw back a normal lead. So you have to take abnormal options. I go back to this. I am not stupid. I have a large brain. I go to the correct POV. Alright. Toast maintaining his pact with the devil. Howitzers to break cover. Giving himself plenty of open sight lines. I don't think either player is really worried about taking a howitzer trade. From this range... Oh, same builds? Same builds. I think Toast is gonna try to go for like a cheeky approach here on the left. Maybe Cat will be suckered in even though Cat has AP lead. Cat no longer has AP lead because they fumbled the shield juggle. Now the AP lead is back. Notice how little these like 60 to 80% Karasawa shots are hitting each other for, by the way. Even just a little bit of TE like this makes a lasers hit a lot more soft. But it's also important to keep in mind that these hits normally on anything without this kind of TE would get ripped. A little bit of CQC howitzer trading. Not the space either player wants to be in, honestly. Toasty on the back foot, eating a lot of unfortunate VTF damage here. Could have probably pulled out the shield while he was doing that little scramble under the wire. Can't tell if Cat still has their KE shield. I think they do. Yeah, they do. Now they're both swapping. Just more unfortunate howitzer hits. Really good space control for the TE quad here. That's a very good spot to be, just keeping your back up against that wall. Not a lot of things can contest it. You get a lot of space to maneuver around the missiles and drag them into stuff. And, yep. All those VTFs in the scramble on that back wall. That was the deal breaker. Well played from Cat. I think they're only doing 1 or 2 more matches, which is probably where I'll end the stream as well, because I've been doing this for 2 hours, and actually talking and commentating is a little exhausting. I was not cut out for this. However, I hope everybody's enjoyed the commentary so far. I hope it's been somewhat insightful. I hope the audio's been okay. Oh, Toast, this is retribution. This is the karmic burden you carry. Your TE quad devilry. This map is the sword of Damocles hanging over your head, friend. Alright. Shoddy 3VR Plasma Heavy versus a tank. This is what I think it is. Toast is on. Okay, no, it's just the auto cannon, heat cannon tank. I thought he was gonna play sniper cannon tank. That would have been kind of hypey. So, I think the KE shield play there at the beginning was good. You can purge the plasma gun in this matchup. A lot of it is going to be taking short aggressive trades around these obstacles to try and get a leg up on the tank, because you are never going to be able to just like maintain the parallel approach with it. It's very safe to assume that every time you're in a tank's cone of vision in front of them, that you are going to lose the trade. So here, this is really good, but a little bit too much energy spent. Lost the glide, couldn't keep it up. However, if Cat could have maintained that, and just continued playing Toasty's flank, that would have sealed the deal and put him down to around 13,000 AP, I want to say. A little bit of fumblage here in the corner. Really okay glide rush, but you were not going to outwiggle an auto cannon tank when you were with... Can you rephrase that? English is hard. You're not gonna outwiggle the autocannon tank because it has a 23 wide lock FCS, and you are staying in a wide cone above it. This is still actually very winnable. And I'll maintain that position that it was winnable. All you really need is just 2, maybe 3 good glide rushes where you just get to the corner of Toast's hitbox, you stay there, and then you hit with the shotgun 3BR, and that's all you need. A big thing again that would have helped there was just ditching the plasma gun. That was unnecessary weight, unnecessary drain. That would have bumped you up maybe a speed tier. But that's it for this lobby. That's it for me today. Thank you everybody for hanging out. I end it here.